memoirs. He married a well-known actress, Rachel Kempson, and begat 3 children, Vanessa, Corinne, and me. Our mother was and is an exquisitely beautiful woman, but possesses none of the vanity that so often accompanies great beauty. A loving mother, she did her best to keep our lives simple and structured, to be a safe haven in the midst of often stormy seas. We had a privileged upbringing. When I was 3 years old, we moved to a big old mansion of a house in London by the Thames. We had a sprawling, seemingly endless garden behind, a cook, a chauffeur, a gardener, a secretary, and a blessed, round, bow-legged Norfolk nanny. My sister and brother were articulate, healthy, opinionated, and outgoing. In contrast, I was desperately shy, constantly sickly and anemic. At least I had my beloved nanny, my imagination, and my dog. I'm awake early this morning. Bronchitis again. I can see across Nanny's bed, but only as far as the window, which is misted up. Nanny's bustling about. She's keeping the kettle on the boil so it will fill the room with steam. Then I'll have to sit under a great big towel. Then she'll make me a glass of hot black currant ribena to soothe my throat. It'll be lonely today because I won't be allowed out of bed. And with Corinne and Vanessa at school and Mummy and Daddy away on tour, the house will be empty. Except for Birdie, the cook, and Nanny. Nanny will buy me a comic book this afternoon. Perhaps read me a story. She doesn't read as well as Mummy, but it's better than silence. Every summer we took our holidays at Bexhill-on-Sea in the county of Sussex, always in smelling distance of the ocean. I was 4, maybe 5. Which year was it? A day stands out. Nanny had wheeled me back from the beach in my stroller, for Daddy was coming. He was arriving any minute. Quick, have your bath. I didn't remember Daddy very well. He'd been away in America for nearly a year. I liked Nanny and Mummy, but men were scary. Nanny helps me out of my bath onto the slippery cork mat, which stands on green, shiny lino. The bath is old-fashioned and stands on huge claw feet. She wraps me in a big towel. Rub-a-dub-dub, 3 men in a tub, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, they went to sea in a rotten potato. Into my nightie, into my dressing gown, hair brushed, slippers on, down to meet Daddy, the stranger from America. There he is, sitting on a chair. And I can't see the surroundings well, but with him is a tall, good-looking man. And Daddy says, "I've got a present for you." I open it. It's slippers. Beautiful yellow slippers with little bare heads on the front. I put them on and they fit, and I think, "Oh, Daddy, thank you, thank you. They are the most beautiful slippers I ever saw, and I love them, and I love you," and I hug him. But the person in the nightie and the dressing gown and the glum face just stands there and says nothing. And Daddy says, "Do you like them?" And the glum one says, "Of course," in a cross voice. I leave the room in disgrace. Later, Nanny is hugging me as I cry and cry. I knew even then that the me that others saw and my inner self had not met, and all the frowning and concentrating in the world couldn't bring the two together. The little girl who didn't really remember her Daddy, but somewhere deep inside longed to see him and hug him and love him, had been sabotaged by the glum, ungrateful one who only dressed, looked, and sounded like me. I was really saying thank you to him, Nanny, and he didn't understand. When I was a child, successful motherhood meant chubby babies. I must have been an affront, contracting all the childhood diseases that are now preventable: chickenpox, whooping cough, mumps, recurrent bouts of bronchitis alternated with mild attacks of pneumonia, and always I seemed to have a cold. Of course, much of our 1940s cuisine consisted of powdered eggs, boiled to within an inch of its life cabbage, prunes, lumpy custard, and rabbit. Into this humdrum regimen of dullness peeked welcome interludes of pure joy, the most insidious being sweets. Luckily, the frequency of these mouth-watering orgies was automatically limited, for sweets were considered a luxury and were severely rationed. Then, one day, word came.